Right before we begin, I want to give a quick shout out to GenoSamuel, who created the original Chris Chan comprehensive history documentary, who is listed below and is a major inspiration for this series. He's currently up to part 58 in the entire series, and I just want to thank him for doing an amazing job chronicling the history of Chris Chan from his beginning up until the present day. And I look forward to part 59. Now, with all that said, let's get to the episode, shall we?
Anyway, folks, it's about that time, folks. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. It's Radio Graffiti, baby!
Ghost. Arguably one of the most mysterious political personalities to exist.
614, Radio Graffiti.
Ghost, when World War III hits, come to my bunker. We'll have a three-way with Alex Jones. It'll be totally legit. Oh my.
God damn it, you!
Despite years of trolling and harassment from various individuals and groups, nobody has ever figured out who he is. All we can do is guess, based on the information we have discovered.
000, I'm a Jew. I'm not a Jew, damn it! Damn it! I am not a Jew!
His activities on the internet have been followed by thousands upon thousands in some form or another since the late 2000s. What made him famous? What keeps us fascinated? Who is this man? This is the story of Ghost. On February 28, 2008, the 11th episode of True Conservative Radio aired on Blog Talk Radio. This episode discussed the rivalry between then presidential candidates Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, with Ghost accusing Clinton of making Obama out to be the quote-unquote ghetto candidate, and how, in his opinion, the Clintons could win the nomination at the expense of the African-American community unless Obama fights back. During this episode, Ghost gets irate over a British caller with an incomprehensible accent.
Oh, hold on. We got another call here. Let me see what they got going on here. It's 000 is the area code. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but go ahead. You're on the air.
Well, I don't know if it's 000, but it might be me, I think.
Yeah, I think that's you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I've heard about it. Well, I only came in half the way across the show because I've been out down having a coffee. About political parties. I know in the UK, the government are actually raising taxes for God knows everything that you can think of. Road taxes, poll tax. I mean, I have been wanting to get a job for 20 years, and all the only job I've been offered was voluntary crap.
Okay, I'm sorry there, Dudley Moore. I know that maybe possibly you spent some dime on that call or something, but it sounds to me like you got a little bit too close to a cheap bottle of hooch, and we just couldn't understand what you were saying, so I'm sorry. I know maybe you were probably calling and making a good point, but we just couldn't understand you, and sorry. I'm sorry. 508, are you still there?
I'm still here, Ghost.
No, I mean, they're saying that I'm racist against the Englishman. I'm not racist against the Englishman. I just couldn't understand the man. And we have a lot of listeners, that we've got time allotted out here. People don't want to hear somebody they can't understand. Now, I didn't mean to insinuate the man was, intoxicated in any way, but the way the man was slurring his words sounded like he got a little bit too close to a couple of bottles of beer. And anyway, go ahead. What were you talking about there? I thought that maybe he would provide some sort of insight. Unfortunately, it was Dudley Moore resurrected, so go ahead. And we got another call here. I just wanted to see who this is. They obviously called with Skype or some sort of, I don't know who it is, so we're just letting them on the air. Hey, you're on the air.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. What's going on?
Well, I was listening to give a shit to the English accent caller that called in before, and obviously I've got one. Can you understand what I'm saying?
Well, make your point, please.
Well, I'm wondering, I've been listening to your show, and I'm wondering exactly how you're going to have a conversation when you're telling everyone that disagrees with you that they are a pecker shaft.
Okay, all right. That's about enough of that. We're just going to hang up on that caller right there. That's obviously Jen. Jen, give me a break. It's the most ridiculous accent I've ever heard in my entire life.
The next day, the 12th episode of True Conservative Radio aired, with Ghost complaining about social liberals within the Republican Party, as well as John McCain, Mike Huckabee, and Mitt Romney, all of whom were then presidential candidates in the Republican primaries. During this episode, Ghost opened a beer can in the middle of a broadcast for the first time.
I'm not exactly sure what time we're going to have it. I tell you, it's going to be before the Super Bowl, that's for sure. It's Super Bowl time. There's going to be a lot of people drinking, that sort of thing. I'm not going to be doing any drinking. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing the drinking tonight, this evening here. It's Saturday evening. And I just want to go ahead and appreciate the American lifestyle. I mean, that's what everybody should be doing. But like I was stating previous, we're going to probably have another episode of True Conservative Radio tomorrow at an earlier time because of the Super Bowl. And at the same time, we're also gearing up for another edition, a special Tuesday edition after Super Tuesday. We're definitely going to find out what's happening after the results. If y'all are listening in, I just went into my little fridge here, got me a beer. Saturday evening, folks, and I know that today on the agenda what we have the Republican Party. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tirade here. What we have on the agenda as I crack open this beer, it's American-made beer. I drink Miller High Life. The reason I drink Miller High Life, I'm from Texas, obviously. Good evening to all the folks in the chat room. I appreciate your patronage. I'm cracking open a Miller High Life right here, and the Mexican folks down here in Texas, we're a cultural melting pot out here in Texas. The reason they drink these a lot is they call these wetas. Believe it or not, wetas meaning white woman. Because the white foam mixed with the blonde coloration of the beer itself. So anyway, little insight on beer. Anyway, folks, I'm sitting here drinking a beer, appreciating the American lifestyle. I'm trying to get myself on a calm note because let me tell you something, I'm going to be screaming my god darn head off. I'm going to have the blood vessel pumping out of my head. It's just going to be unbelievable. Because let me tell you something, I'm disgusted with this Republican Party. I'll tell you, it's a great beer. Down here in Texas, and let me tell you, just on a side note, I know we're going to get into this Republican garbage here in a second, but as I consume my alcoholic beverage, which is my right, of course, I'm in the privacy of my own home, I'm sitting here drinking. What I don't understand is these laws around alcohol and driving. Now, I understand that nobody should be operating any kind of heavy machinery or any kind of car, motor vehicle, anything of that nature if they're completely inebriated. I'll acknowledge that. We don't need drunk folks on the road. But, I come from Texas. And let me tell you, I lived during the day when Texas was the only state in the United States that allowed you to have an open container and drink while you drive, believe it or not. And it was great. It was great. I'd go out, get myself a beer. I'd be on the way to the party when I was younger. You have yourself a couple. Of course, you wouldn't be inebriated and be obnoxious about it. Go out and, kill innocent people. I'm not suggesting that you go out and get hammered, get sloppy drunk out there and, just go out on the road. I'm just simply suggesting that these supposed laws around drinking and driving are just a little bit excessive. And I've never been busted for anything. I have no criminal record whatsoever. But I just think that it's unfortunate that you have a whole group of people that, probably never going to commit a crime in their life. Okay? And I'm not saying this is a majority or a minority of the people that get busted for DUIs, that sort of thing. Anybody who gets into an accident while they're intoxicated, throw the book at those bastards. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care what happens to them. If they kill innocent people, throw them in a damn dungeon somewhere, and have whatever happens to them in prison happen to them because they deserve it. But these poor people, they're just going out to a bar. Mind you, you know that we do have bars in America. You know that people can actually go to a place where alcohol is consumed and just regularly dispensed for a price. Okay. Now, this is what I don't understand about DUIs. I know I'm going off on a tirade here. We're going to get to the Republican stuff in a minute. But as I sit here and consume this alcoholic beverage, which somebody here in the chat room, and hello to everybody in the chat room here. I appreciate your patronage. You people rock. Thank you for chilling with me here on a Saturday night. I'm just looking at my beer and I'm just thinking to myself, I can't go and have about 2 or 3 beers at a bar without the threat of being arrested. I mean, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I've never committed a crime in my life. It's ridiculous. The reason I say this is because I'm an employer and I have a lot of employees. And I have this problem with many employees. I wouldn't hire drunks, folks. I wouldn't hire people that get sloppy drunk and that sort of thing. These are just young fellas. They're out having a good time. That's the only thing there is to do, for Christ's sake. You have the feminist movement that has completely emasculated most of America. I mean, just look at the gender-biased justice system. I don't want to get into that. Everybody who's kept up with my show knows about my viewpoint on that, so I'm not going to get into it. All I'm suggesting is maybe when you lax up a little bit on this DUI crap. I mean, they got crap nowadays. You can't even rinse your damn mouth out with mouthwash without them considering you being under the influence. Can you believe that? Because mouthwash has got, 80% alcohol. If you take a breathalyzer and you rinse your mouth off with some kind of mouthwash, if you took a breathalyzer, you could be incriminated and go to jail. Anyway. It's unfortunate. Didn't mean to get off on that tirade about it, but I just remember I was in Texas. Texas was the only state that allowed you to ride a motor vehicle and you can have yourself an open container just as long as you weren't inebriated out of your wazoo. You were able to just go ahead and do what you got to do like a law-abiding citizen, and I miss those days. So this goes out to Texas. We miss you, buddy. Anyway, folks, hopefully you got a libation, some sort of alcoholic beverage. If you're not an alcoholic, hopefully you got some coffee. Whatever your vice is, hopefully you have it. Have it there by you. Kick back with me. We're gonna get a little buck wild up in here.
Additionally, in the middle of a discussion with several guests, Ghost was abruptly knocked off the air for unknown reasons, allowing his guests to temporarily take control over the show.
You think the people will? Mule and 4 acres of land, and they ain't got that yet. So why should they wait on a doggone reparations?
They think the African American community is just going to sit down and say, well, you owe us for putting us in slavery. I mean, it's
bad. But they already spoke on that, and we like 100 and some years down the line from that. So how could that affect us now?
Well, I think
liberal.
That's what I'm saying. It is a liberal way of thinking, but at the same time,
Ghost still there?
I don't know. They must have knocked those right on off. Oh, okay. Well, we got to keep on with the show till you call back in. Yeah, well, I don't know, but I know one thing. We got to keep on pushing this race issue out of any subject.
See, I made a video about that little issue, though. They start talking about handouts and reparations for African Americans and black community. I said, if you're, I mean, I spoke out to a lot of African American Democrats, really, and I said basically, if you're expecting them to give you anything for whatever reason, you've got to be out of your mind.
Gotta be out of their mind.
Yeah, I mean, now, of course, it's one thing to want to be Democrat. That's your personal deal. I'm conservative. I support, you know, the conservative party. But I mean, if you're going to be Democrat, to expect these, because you expect the Democrats to say, because they said in CNN, they're going to give you.
We still got people that's supposed to be our so-called black leaders. They selling us out. They done sold us out, and they continuing to sell us out. They ain't caring about their own black people. So what's really going on here?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the media. I mean, it's all about.
Sure, we got Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton. They don't give a damn about no black people.
It's all about what's good for TV. They ain't thinking about the black community. Whatever's good make the media look good. Whatever sounds good on TV, that's what they want to spread out. You know,
as long as they getting paid and while we getting played, they don't care.
I mean, if it makes you look good, that's all they're about. I mean, it's sad. I mean, these supposed to be the people. If I remember correctly, Al Sharpton was trying to run for president. You know, this term dropped out early.
And at the end of the day, they sit back all up together in a room, drinking over a meal, getting some wine.
But yeah, I'm telling you, that's the thing. They're all good friends in the end. You know, it's like they get on TV, they act like they're enemies, they act like they oppose each other strongly on every issue.
Right.
When all they do, they agree with it. They actually agree. It's just who did more for this issue than who else. Than this guy. I mean, they all agree.
At the end of the campaign, they throw a big party, they all party. But in the end, nobody still lose but the little people. Because
well, I mean, it's just nothing gets done.
Nobody in there that's going to look out for our behalf.
Yeah, nothing gets done. They're too busy either making TV look good.
These preachers need to keep their butts out of politics. What the hell are they doing in politics? They kill me. The politics, what are the preachers doing in politics? What are they doing in politics? They got all these $1 million churches, all these $1 million homes, but yet still, they deep into politics, yet still they want to tell you, read your Bible. Yeah. Pay your tithe.
That's definitely a good question for you right there. But hey, we're starting to run out of time, and Ghost Show's supposed to be wrapping up in about 5-6 minutes. I want to take this, I guess, just do it for him. His show's supposed to be hosting tomorrow night at 7. I don't know what it's going to be, or 9 Central. I don't know what it's about, but I'm sure he'd be talking about it right now if he was here. I don't know what happened to him. But, I mean, there wasn't much of a big discussion tonight. I mean, he got on for the first hour and just about ranted, and then, I mean, that was it. After that, I called him like the second hour, and then
how many minutes we got now?
Yeah, we got like 3 or 4 minutes. The show's about to wrap up, and then okay. So because we've assumed control of his show now, and so we gotta let him know. We gotta let people know, whoever is listening, that it's gonna be going on tomorrow.
Knocked out, y'all. He haven't called back in, so we're pursuing on with the show.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely I'm gonna check it out on Tuesday. He said Super Tuesday. They're gonna try to have a show
and if they really want everybody to really get involved in voting, like here in Chicago, it's cold as hell. Why don't they let the voting times be around the summertime when you actually come out and cast your vote?
Because it's like they don't care about the community. They're about what they can get done on their time.
The winter time here in Chicago, really, they're not getting everybody involved because everybody is not coming out in the dead of the winter. You got only diehard people that come out and vote in the dead of the winter. Now,
if they care to vote at all,
I mean, get involved, they should do it in the summertime.
See, because we've got so many independent voters this term. I mean, it's like people don't even care about even coming out. I mean, whoever has faith in their party is they're all the only ones that they're going to consider voting. And you heard Ghost say it himself. He's conservative, and he don't even want to vote for anybody. He basically hates the Liberal Party. And on top of that, the conservatives, the majority of the conservatives to him have just turned themselves to liberal. So he's just going. He said he's staying home election day, and he ain't trying to vote for anybody. And he thinks that anyone that's conservative will do the same thing.
Yeah, go say his Republican Party has been taken away.
Well, dang, I mean, I really don't know. I don't know. But we got 3 minutes left. I think we're gonna have to close it on down in a few seconds and let these next people come on in.
Where they at?
I don't know actually what the next show is going to be. Because I remember last week I actually wanted to. I was looking around after a ghost show.
What's your show?
Huh?
What, you got a show?
No, I have I do all my blogging on YouTube.
So you know about the Bill H.R. 1955?
Do what?
Bill H.R. 1955.
No, I don't think I know about that.
The homegrown radical terrorist act of 2007 and other purposes. Take away your freedom of speech and everything else.
Oh, you are talking about the Patriot Act or something?
No, it's a new bill they trying to pass. It's already in the Senate. You gotta take it and type it in your bar, Bill H.R. 1955, and then hit search, and then Senate Bill 1959 will pop up with it too, because they both the same bill.
Yeah, well, basically, on my channel, I try to talk about a lot of the stuff like that, political issues. I talk about religion and I talk about social issues of that nature as well, but I'm mostly political. And I talk about the campaign as it is, right now. And of course, I have my support videos in there as well.
We're exposing these candidates and these political parties because all they doing is rich millionaires and billionaires. They filthy rich, man.
I was actually, after Ghost Show last week, I was looking around to see if there were any more political shows going on. But, I think his was the last one for the night as far as politics goes. But, I considered making a show on here, but I thought, nah, because I got a YouTube, I don't need to do it on here. But, of course, I love to put my 2 cents in on other shows. I'll come put my 2 cents in, but won't make my own.
What time? Oh, wait a minute.
Is it 11?
Fell out or something?
Huh?
He didn't even call back.
Yeah, I guess he got off and thought that that it's supposed to just be.
He got 21 more minutes.
No. According unless my clock is off, he only got 1 minute.
Well,
because he's only supposed to be here from 9 to 11. That was his scheduled time. He started at 9 into 11.
Okay, there you go. It's popping in. Yeah, it's gone. Hello?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess that's supposed to be it for his show. So I guess
that's
everybody
it.
that's
So
still
who are
listening.
you, King Kong? You King Kong?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, King Kong. I'm the Poor People's Campaign Inc. here in Chicago, Illinois. Yeah. Martin Luther King started it back in '67, but he didn't live to kick it off. So you got this U2 thing. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to look at this. All right.
All right, well, I guess whoever is still listening, I guess Ghost will have the show up and running again tomorrow at 9. I won't be there, but I'll definitely check it out I'll check him out on
Why you don't want to get a Blog Talk radio show?
Oh, it will be because I really don't have my own phone. I just sort of I'm between phones, and when I can use them and stuff like that. If I'm trying to get my own phone actually, so I can I might consider getting one if I get my own phone. But I normally do my blogging on YouTube anyway, so there's really no.
So how you feel about Ron Paul?
Do what?
How you feel about Ron Paul?
Well, I could talk about that, but I think we're out of time while we're at 11.
Yeah, it's 11. Oh, yeah, we out of time. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you this, though. You can check out my YouTube, and that'll tell you everything you need to know. Hello? Well, I guess everyone's still listening. Those who have a show up and running tomorrow at 9 o'clock Central.
On February 5th, the 13th episode of True Conservative Radio aired. In this episode, Ghost would rant about how the Republican Party abandoned conservative values in his opinion. During this episode, a caller named Smokey, claiming to be from Brooklyn, New York, called Ghost and irritated him.
Let's see who it is.
Hello.
Yellow 347, you're on the air.
What's up, boss? How you doing?
How you doing?
This is Smokey over here from the Bronx.
How you doing? Hey, did you go vote today?
No, I don't vote. I don't believe in that stuff.
Well, I don't blame you for not voting this time, sir. Go ahead.
I don't go to jury duty. I don't do none of that stuff. The first year I was eligible to vote was the year the whole fiasco happened with Bush down there in Florida. Put a bad taste in my mouth. I'll never do that again.
Oh yeah, what? You didn't like Bush?
No, it's not even that. It's just the whole fiasco, the way that it was rigged. That shit was rigged, buddy.
Well, regardless, I'm glad that George W. Bush was president, because I've said this before. Had Al Gore been president, we'd probably all have pictures of Osama bin Laden over our fireplaces right now.
You're crazy, buddy. Bush is like the devil, but I'm not even into politics because I don't vote, you know what I'm saying, buddy? But what I think you need to do is smoke a joint, relax, take a deep breath, and then kill yourself.
Oh yeah, and that's your substance? That's out of the Bronx, New York, right?
Yes, sir. Good old...
Yep, good old Bronx, New York. Liberalism at its finest right there. You see what I'm saying? I bet you money that this Nimrod is collecting Social Security. He's probably claiming he's got some sort of mental handicap, and it's obvious by what he stated here on the air here. He's obviously got a mental deficiency. He's probably using all kinds of government subsidies to give to some drug dealer so he can continue consuming his drugs like some ridiculous fiend. And let me tell you something, this is a perfect example of what liberalism will get you right here. This idiot Smokey. I bet you he believes in all this dumbass hip-hop crap, I bet you he's got the garb that this liberal media has forced him into believing that is some sort of culture. This ridiculous garb. No, look, I like rap. Believe it or not, I like rap. I like the old school stuff. The old school stuff. But 50 Cent, and here comes, these people are probably younger people. They're bringing up 50 Cent like he's the great OG. But this is what I'm talking about, folks. This is liberal media asserting a notion of social, I guess of social emulation on your children. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This 50 Cent character, okay? 50 Cent is a product. He's not even a real gangster, okay? This Curtis Jackson character was just some goof, that happened to probably live, in the suburbs of New York or around New York somewhere. Never, ever was involved in anything, not that that's a good thing, but he was never involved in any of the criminal activity that he claims. He's never involved in all this garbage. He's a complete product, and this is sold to your children as some sort of real credible outcry of the streets. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And as a matter of fact, 50 Cent was a real little tag name of one of these New York crime figures in Brooklyn. So, he basically hijacked the name of some criminal that happened to get killed. So it's just ridiculous. So this is what I'm talking about, this Smokey idiot. This is what's happening to your youth, folks. I'm sure he comes from a broken home, okay? I'm sure he's been raised by his mammy. That's why he's so... the man's probably about 25-something years old, and he's still talking about smoking joints. Give me a break. He's probably he's probably a fat-in-the-ass bastard. He's probably collecting all these... every kind of social program you can think of, and yet he's spending all that money on smoking dope. It's ridiculous. And you see, he is a product of what's happening here. This is a social ill. What you just heard, that previous caller, is a social ill of society. He was probably raised in a single-parent home. That's a product of a single-parent home. He was obviously not African-American, and yet he was trying to sound African-American. And why is that? Because you got this liberal media, this liberal Hollywood media selling products like 50 Cent and all these other fake gangsters that are being sold as real OGs, so to speak. They're selling this to your children, and your children are creating, the ghetto lifestyle in suburban America. And you want to know why it is? Because, the people that are influencing your children, if you're a two-parent home, the people that are influencing your children are from single-parent families. Typically raised by their mother, because the mother usually gets the kids most of the time in a divorce anyway. I mean, the woman could be a prostitute and still get the kids, which is ridiculous. But this is what's influencing your children. That's why I emphasize we have to save the American family, or we're going to get more products like this. I mean, this is what we need, folks, and that's why, everybody on the blogosphere, everybody on BTR, hey, Super Tuesday, yeah, I mean, give me a break. You're going to get liberalism regardless. All right, you vote for the left, you're going to get blatant communism. If you vote for the right, you're going to get petty bourgeoisie socialism. That's what you're going to get. That's exactly what you're going to get. It's ridiculous. And here I got this ridiculous wannabe hip-hop character over here, Smokey, calling me up again. Look, you've already expressed your ignorance, son. All right, it's obvious. There's no need to call back. So just, continue smoking your little pot and get the heck out of here, man. You're obnoxious. Well, as a matter of fact, I'm going to kick you out of my damn chat room because you're a piece of trash. So, see ya, Smokey. Let me get this piece of crap out of here. All right. Sorry about that, folks. I just had to get rid of some riffraff. Called up in here, told me to smoke some weed, and hey, yo, what's up, and all this garbage. I mean, the man sounded whiter than, Bill Clinton's ass cheeks. And he's going to come up on here acting as if he's just straight out of Compton or something. It's ridiculous. It's just absolutely stupid. Anyway, 646-652-4869. I got another caller here. Hopefully this caller can provide a little bit of civil discourse instead of that ridiculous kid that called up previous talking about smoking pot and, thinking he's straight out of Compton or something. So, anyway, 917, you're on the air.
Yeah, what's up? This is straight out of Compton again. What's up, buddy? This is the white black guy, as you put it.
Oh, okay. So what do you want?
I wanted to know. First of all, I gave you a show. You should be happy. I made everybody in that chat room was liking what I was saying. They were laughing.
You said 2 sentence fragments, you moron. What are you talking about?
I have 2 parents. They're both still alive. They're both beautiful people. They took care of me as a kid. They were great. I don't live off Social Security or none of that stuff, no handicap. I work for a living off the books. I don't
you make a living off the books, so you're a drug dealer.
No, I'm not a drug dealer, to tell you the truth. I make pizza. I don't know if you know what that is. I'm a hard-working American. I'm 28 years old. I'm not a little kid like you said. I just want to know, what are you doing? Like, you're kicking me out of a chat room. This is supposed to be America and all this stuff.
But you're acting like... Look,
you're acting like Hitler on this thing, buddy.
No. Look, you see, you're trying to provide discourse.
What color's your sheet you're wearing?
Hey, let me go ahead and mute you, son. First of all, because you were sitting up here up until recently talking to me like a man, that's why I let you talk. But when you called previous, you were acting like some neurotic buffoonery, like you were straight out of Compton talking about you need to smoke weed and do all this garbage. I'm not going to let you perpetuate that message on my show. I have conservatives that listen to me, you idiot. So I'm going to let you go ahead, and I'm going to take you off mute, and I want you to go ahead and tell me something that's going to surprise me. You say you're 20 years old, you deliver pizzas for a living. That's great. I'm glad. I mean, because before I thought you were cleaning enema bags for a living. But I'm glad to hear that you're actually doing something with yourself, so I'm going to go ahead and give you the forum. Go ahead.
What do you do besides just banter on the radio?
I employ people, sir. I'm an entrepreneur. I got my nails dirty and worked hard for what I got. All right, and that's what I'm suggesting that everybody out there that's getting these entitlement programs from the government need to do too. Just need to go out and work.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I agree with you on that.
Well, then why are you telling me to kill myself?
Oh, because you're very uptight, sir. You need to smoke a joint, relax, have a beer, and you act like you're going to change the world, sir. You're not. You're not going to do any of this. Your name is Ghost. Like, what are you?
It's called a screen name, you idiot. We've been using them ever since AOL started commercially distributing internet connections.
Old. How old are you? Like 40 years old, and you're yelling at me. You're so angry. What's your problem?
Hey, because it's a political show, and I take politics a little serious. You just like to smoke joints, and as long as that government subsidy check comes in every week, you're happy.
No, I don't have a government subsidy check because the weed man don't take that stuff. He takes cash. You know,
weed man, that's great. Get the hell off my line, you ridiculous, neurotic imbecile. Give me a break. I told you to stop making references to drug use, and here you are, you're sticking a Kentucky Fried Chicken grease thumb up your anal passage, doing it again. Piece of trash, but this is what I'm talking about. This is a 20-year-old right here, 20 years old. And did you hear the absolute inarticulate way he's putting points across here? I'm not saying you have to be the most articulate person, but damn it, have common sense, folks. Have common sense. It's ridiculous.
After a 4-day hiatus, Ghost would return with the 14th episode of True Conservative Radio, where he would read hate mail for a second time on the air.
Sort of form of liberation. That's what you're having out here. Anyway, everybody pretty much knows my views on the feminist movement. We are reading feminist hate mail, because I get a lot of it, folks. Let me tell you, I get a lot of feminist hate mail. And before I read this feminist hate mail, I'd like to apologize to all of you if I happen to say a few curse words, because a lot of this is verbally colorful. And we're just going to dive right into it and, talk about some emails that I've gotten from some of these feminists. So here it is right here. Now, the first email is from Gina from Arizona. Okay. Ghost, you are the biggest male pig I've ever heard in my life. Someone needs to throw you off the air before people actually start listening to you. That was Gina from Arizona. Well, you know what, Gina? People are listening to me, you stupid piece of trash. So you can continue getting a little upset at the fact that I'm on the air and I'm exercising my freedom of speech rights, while you can just sit over there and continue to shove bonbons down your gullet like a damn garbage disposal. How about that, Gina? Hopefully she got that. Anyway, we're going to move on to the next one here. The next one is from Roberta. Roberta from New York. Now, if that isn't more of a Bull Dyke name, I don't know what is. But here we go. I was shocked to listen to your broadcast and to hear people that actually agree with you. You and your listeners are all sick, twisted, demented F-words. That was Roberta from New York. Well, let me tell you something, Roberta. Obviously, you've listened to my program, and you probably kept listening. As a matter of fact, you're probably finger-banging yourself listening to me right now, so I don't even know why you're even flapping your fat fingers on the keyboard and writing me an email about this crap when you know and I know you're listening to me right now. So you're a piece of trash. You can continue flapping your fat fingers on the keyboard. You're nothing but a bull dyke feminist. You have no substance. All right? I provided substance upon substance on the debating table. You have no substance, so go piss off. All right, let's move on to the next one, folks. This is Emma from Illinois. Illinois, excuse me. Emma from Illinois. Ghost, you sexist asshole. I hope someone... hold on. Stupid broad can't even write correctly. I hope some woman slices off your head and menstruates down your throat. Oh, that's nice. I am a woman. Hear me roar. That was Emma from Illinois. That was a really nice sentiment there, Emma. Do you talk to your children that way? Is that how you threaten your children? I'll slice your head off and menstruate down your throat. That's a very vivid sight. That's very verbally colorful, and I'm sure your mother is very proud of you, for saying that. You're a pathetic human being, Emma. And for you to say such a disgusting thing, you should be ashamed of yourself. And as a matter of fact, you should probably be prohibited to have any more children. Anyway, here we go again. Oh, we got a guy now. Here's a guy, Greg from California. Greg from California writes, I think you are a pathetic soul that should be locked up for all the BS that you say. People like you aren't around anymore. Deal with it. Oh, good God. Here we go again, you know, I should be locked up. I mean, how should I be thrown in jail? I mean, why should I be thrown in jail? Because I'm just sitting here trying to save the American family and promote true conservative values. Why should I be thrown in jail? See, this is more liberalism, folks. Hey, you're not agreeing with the liberal principles. You should be thrown in jail. This is what liberals want. This is what liberals want. They want to jail you for not thinking like they do. This is what I'm talking about. Anytime you try to facilitate a debate with anybody on the left of the political spectrum, and anytime you provide any type of substance and corner them, what do? They resort to these personal attacks. They resort to logical fallacies. They'll lie. They'll do whatever it takes to suppress your perspective, even though you're the one that's correct. And that's the left for you, and as a matter of fact, you're starting to see remnants of it on the right. Anyway, moving on, shall we? We've got a couple of more of these, and I'm sorry, folks, for being so verbally explicit. There's some people in the chat room right now reacting to Emma from Illinois' little email stating that she hopes someone slices off my head and menstruates down my throat, which is probably the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life, and I'm sorry I had to say that over the air. Anyway, moving on. This is from Margarita. She didn't leave where the hell she was from, and I don't blame her. But anyway, it says, "You're lucky I don't know where you live, because I'd be glad to do all women a favor and silence you forever." Women are soon going to be in control, and you men will have to serve us like we've served you since the beginning of time. And that was Margarita. Well, are you kidding me? First of all, your name is Margarita, you stupid dunce. All right? I mean, how are you going to sit over here and intimidate me with a name? You're named after an alcoholic beverage, you stupid whore. All right? And you're sitting over here trying to talk garbage at me that you hope a woman silences me forever? What, because I want to save the American family? Because I'm talking about the social ills of America? You want somebody to silence me forever? Are you kidding me? I mean, this is what I'm talking about, folks. Your name, this broad's name is Margarita. Oh, jeez. Anyway, one more, folks, and then we're going to move on from this. One more. Anyway, Margarita, I didn't say anything to Margarita. Margarita, piss off, all right, you stupid broad. All right, if you think you've got enough gall to find me, you come on down here and you find me, and I will make sure that you're dealt with properly, all right, you alcoholic beverage name piece of cheese whiz gobbling, nipple clamp looking, butt plug up the ass having garbage. And excuse my French, folks, but this broad said she wanted to kill me. So anyway, here we go again. This one is from somebody I don't know. It's an anonymous sender, and I don't have a name for this piece of trash, but we're going to read this last email here. This is hate mail. Here we go. I've been listening to you for a while now. I was hoping no one would listen to you and you would go away, but you haven't. Of course I haven't, because I'm a conservative, you Nimrod. Anyway, let me continue. I think everyone who listens to you, whether they like you or hate you, should be injected of cancer of the cock. Oh, man, and I don't think she means a rooster, folks. I mean, or he, or whoever that was. I mean, that was an anonymous email. But this is what I'm talking about, folks. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm getting. And this is from feminists. These are from left-wing, long-haired liberal hippies. And I'm sure most of them, and a lot of them are from Republicans as well, because I'm not obliging myself to the Republican Party. This is what I'm getting, folks. This is what I'm telling you. I'm not joking with you people. I mean, this is why I don't go out, like most of these jag-offs online, they like to use their full name, like they're going to be some sort of, freaking reporter or something, I mean, like they're really going to be somebody. Hey, my name is, Ed Morrissey. Look at me. I'm a fat, jelly-ass bald guy, but I can blog. That's all, folks. I mean, give me a break. I mean, I get death threats on a daily basis, folks, and those are the only ones that I picked out that were my favorites. Typical ones are, I'm going to kill you, unoriginal, none with any type of personality whatsoever. The ones I just read you had a little personality to it and made me chuckle a little bit. But this is what I get on a daily basis, folks, because of my political persuasion.
On February 10th, during the 15th episode of True Conservative Radio, Ghost would introduce the first of many characters on the show, Paul the Liberal, who he claimed was an assistant he hired to help run the show. It is believed by many that Paul the Liberal, as with most of the characters on the show, is actually just Ghost doing a different voice. Paul the Liberal would eventually evolve into the Engineer, who would become prominent a year later.
Anyway, folks, go ahead and give me a call if you have anything to chime in about. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I wanted to introduce a new member to the True Conservative radio cast here. He's not going to be doing any talking or anything like that. He's actually running the switchboard because I'm sitting over here. Usually there's like, a whole gangload of calls to take. There's like, the lines are blown up. There's about 6, 7, 8, 10 people on the line here. I'm sitting over here blowing wind out of my hole over here, and I'm just negating what's happening on the switchboard. So I was able to get somebody who can control the switchboard for me. I taught him how to use it, and as a matter of fact, he's my neighbor. He's a liberal. And, yeah, he's a liberal, all right. I mean, he's one of those guys that just stays home and the wife is going out making all the money. Isn't that right, Paul? Anyway, folks, I wanted to introduce, I wanted to introduce everybody to Paul the Liberal. Paul the Liberal is going to be managing all the switchboard activities, and I'm going to be walking around this room I have dedicated to this show. I'm just going to be walking around the room, jumping up and down and screaming like I usually do, and we're going to have Paul the Liberal right here taking calls and checking the switchboard, maybe taking a look at the chat room, all that good stuff. So I wanted to give the opportunity for Paul the Liberal to say hi. So go ahead and say hi, Paul.
How you doing?
Well, that was Paul right there. And, Paul, hopefully you're going to, make things run a little bit smoother. Because, let me tell you something, I mean, I only maybe take about 3 or 4 calls a night because I'm sitting here just screaming because I'm passionate about what I believe in. Hopefully you'll be able to do a good job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, folks, you know what the number is. Give me a call. This is a free format Saturday night. We're just sitting here chilling, talking personal attacks at me. Well, let me tell you, I told you so. I told all you Republicans so before it even happened. And let it be known that I'm glad that this is archived. I'm glad that this is going down in internet history because let me tell you, we are seeing a new transition of power, and that new transition of power is communism and socialism, no matter what party you vote for. No matter what damn party you vote for, folks. Anyway, it's 646-652-4869 is the number to call. And I don't know if Paul here is sniffing his finger or if we've got one. Do we have a call there, Paul?
Yeah.
All right, well, apparently we've got a call here, and we're just going to go ahead and patch it through. Hello, caller.
February 11th saw another free format edition of True Conservative Radio, followed by another free format episode the next day. During this second free format episode, Ghost discusses technique for sparking synapses, his term for forming ideas at a rapid pace.
So, you got to keep them entertained, I think, a little bit. I think that you need to keep them entertained in order to get your message.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, why do you think I say some of the outlandish things I say on this show? I mean, I've been criticized. I mean, you heard it last. Well, both Gorilla and Ozone heard it. I mean, some of the critics of my political persuasion were saying, "Oh, well, you say pecker shaft, and you say."
I was listening to the archive of that marathon that went on last night, so.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you say pecker shaft. I mean, look, the only reason I'm verbally colorful is so that people that don't agree with my conservative views will find some sort of continuity to continue to listen to it. And to me, in my view, as long as they continue to come to my show, whether they think I'm ridiculous, whether they think I'm funny, whatever the case might be, it'll make them think. The repetitiveness of it will say, well, wait a minute. Maybe I am wrong, because all the propaganda that I've been fed by the mainstream media, by everybody else, is just not the right way to go. Because if it was the right way to go, we'd be in a little bit more of a greater situation, in my view. I mean, I think, or the people should think that we would be in a little bit more peace. We would have, a better society, a better social morale, and we don't. And that's the only reason why I do what I do. I know that most conservatives on BTR, they try to be, as straight arrow as possible. But unfortunately, you have to be some sort of a badass, in my view, because if you don't, you're just going to dissuade everybody. I mean, first of all, you're going to have everybody who agrees with you listening to you. But you don't want everybody who agrees with you listening to you. You want people that hate you. You want people that despise you to listen to you, so that if they listen to you enough, at some point, maybe you won't change their mind on everything, but you'll be able to at least make them think about your perspective. You can make them think and say, well, you know what, I can understand why they do this, or I can understand why they do that. And once you push them beyond that line, that's when they'll begin to compromise. That's when they'll begin to start thinking that, hey, maybe all my liberalism garbage isn't the most healthiest thing for society. Maybe, 5 or 6 different divorces isn't the most healthiest thing for society, and so on and so forth.
This latter show would clock in at a whopping 4 hours long, making it the longest episode in the Blog Talk Radio era. February 14th, Valentine's Day, would see a third free format show. This will be the first of many of Ghost's broadcasts to fall on a holiday. The next day, the fourth free format episode in a row aired. On February 16th, True Conservative Radio episode 20 would air. During this episode, Ghost would go on an angry rant about rap artist and musician 50 Cent.
I mean, as it exists at this point, I mean, you can like the music, but don't really get enthralled in the culture, I guess.
Yeah, and that's another thing, the gangster rap culture, which is a farce. Yeah. It's a farce, and I believe that it's the liberal media that is inducing not only just our children. I mean, you've got older men in their 30s, 40s that are obliging themselves to this gangster rap lifestyle or culture, or whatever the case might be, and it's just ridiculous. And it's only perpetuating the welfare state.
It's what sells. What sells? MTV, VH1, your radio. What sells? That's what they want. If they can make a buck off of it, that's what they're going to do. And the young lady on the phone, I know Chicago very well, and I know exactly what you're talking about, and I commend you for being a social worker, because they get paid shit. And they bust their butts, and they bring home all of the worries and fears on their shoulders because they're worrying about other kids that they deal with. So I do commend you. That is a very tough job.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, it's like, it's not only just a media, I guess, creation. I think in the beginning, when you had like NWA, Dr. Dre, like their very first albums in the early 90s. Now, I think those were genuine albums talking about the culture at that time.
Sure.
They started it. They were the beginners. Now you've got all the followers now.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it gets to, where they realize that this is another good distraction that we can use now. So let's continue to manufacture it and use people who aren't really from the ghetto, like 50 Cent. I mean, he's from the suburbs.
Absolutely, and I hate 50 Cent, and if anybody happens to know 50 Cent, you tell him I'll meet him anywhere and beat his ass, because he is a tool. He is a disgusting human being. I know for a fact, and anybody who knows Curtis Jackson via doing any kind of research will know, that this man is a fraud. He's never lived any of the garbage that he spews out, and yet he's one of the most successful rap artists in rap history, based on this, product packaging of him being like, he's like a boy band gangster rapper.
Yeah, you could put Kane West on that too.
Oh yeah, all of them.
Episode 21, the next day, would air earlier than usual and be a discussion on the alleged dumbing down of America and its effect on the social landscape. The following episode would also air earlier than usual and would be a discussion about the American dollar. Episode 23, aired on February 19th, would be a discussion about random topics that Ghost would think of throughout the episode. In one part of the episode, Ghost would get into an argument with a caller over the music genre of hip-hop.
I couldn't hear what he said. He was so garbled. Can you repeat what he just said?
He was just talking about how the positiveness of hip hop and its influence on our culture will make everything all right, and I'm just paraphrasing him. But I have to completely disagree because, first of all, hip hop is probably the leader in the absolute downfall of our society. I remember hip hop, very, very distinctly. I was raised in a teenage son during the '90s when all this ridiculous mumbo jumbo, Biggie Smalls, Tupac, busted caps, garbage was going around.
Honestly, I really don't appreciate how you honoring the memory of the great Biggie, Christopher Wallace.
Christopher Wallace was a self-proclaimed drug dealer. All right, he served crack to his own people, and how are you going to sit here and talk about how he's the great when he helped destruct his own community? How can you call him the great, Chris Wallace? How am I not judging?
There's some being positive. There's some positivity there.
Well, there's positivity there, but it's being very much overlooked by these ridiculous characters that aren't even real. I mean, I could acknowledge, look, gangster rap could be an outcry of the ghetto and that sort of thing, and I'll acknowledge that. But the bottom line is the majority of these artists don't even come from the garbage they rap about. These are actors. These are, paid entertainers, and what the liberal media is doing is they're packaging these people like 50 Cent, which never saw the light of day of the hood, never really dealt any kind of drugs and did all the garbage that he says he's done. But the liberal media will package this man up and sell him as an actual product, and then you've got middle-class America, suburban America, listen to this Nimrod, and actually thinking that this is an actual way of life, and they're creating the ghettos in suburban America because of this idiot. And with all due respect, sir, and I understand that you're trying to name isolated incidences in the hip-hop community via, maybe Tribe Called Quest or, whatever the case might be, but, that's a very minute part of the culture, sir, and what's unfortunate is that hip-hop is the downfall of our society. I think that there's been some very few contributions that have any kind of significance to human enlightenment. For the most part, it's been absolute filth, and for you to sit here and try to debate me on this knowledge, I don't think you have a leg to stand.
The process are taking away from the originality of the first thought.
And they're indirectly turning our American youth into a bunch of fruity-ass butt lovers. I mean, did you see the amount of fruits out here that were on American Idol? This is what I'm talking about. This is the line that's happening in entertainment. You're either a little fruity ass, that looks like a chick out here as a young male, or you're selling yourself out to this wannabe bitchy blonde-headed Eminem wannabe gangster rapper garbage. There's no in between anymore, and this is what I'm talking about. The media's put it this way.
So can I ask you? So what about people like Mr. Cloudy?
Like who? You're garbled up. I don't know what your name is.
You just cut in and out. You cut in and out.
You all are. The blog talk is broke talk tonight. Sorry, I don't hear you very clearly.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, what I'm talking about is the artists that are coming out right now are being chosen by the people because the music industry is just taking the downfall. So things like MySpace and YouTube, these are people that the fans and the regular people are out there picking the music that they want to hear, and these are the people that the music industry is investing in to make money and make music in.
But sir, look, I want to tell you,
people picking them. It's not the corporations anymore. It's the people that's picking them.
That's because the people are idiots, sir. And let me explain why. Okay, I can understand jazz, Duke Ellington, these people that had, true significance into the enlightenment of music. I mean, that changed eras, that they're going down in musical appreciation history books. What you have here, sir, is an exploitation of a small segment of society, and they've made it into an actual mainstream culture. I mean, and you have a whole segment of people that actually believe that, wearing your pants below your anus, gives you some sort of cool significance.
Can I ask you
do you know what that means, sir? Do you know where the whole sagging of the pants is derived from, sir?
I know that comes from prison.
It comes from prison. And you know what that means when you have your pants low like that? That means you're an easy piece of ass for any big bubba that wants to go up there and give you a big hard one up the poop chute. That's what that means.
Can I ask you a question? So what do you think about things like the Eminem, the white rapper shows, Step Up 2? These are movies where they have white people trying to.
I think it's horrible.
Doing the hip hop culture.
I think it's absolutely horrible. I mean, because first of all, Well, I'll tell you why it's horrible. Because first of all, these white pieces of redneck trash, especially Eminem.
Are you aware that most of the record sales from hip hop is from white suburban?
I understand this, sir, and this is what I'm saying. It's this liberal media that has goofed our children. That has goofed our children via the, Hollywood. You have Hollywood intertwined with the music industry. You have the movie industry intertwined with Hollywood and video games. So it's all intertwined together. Okay, and what they're doing is they're selling our children this absolute malarkey. And this is why they actually believe that this is an actual culture. There is no culture. It's ridiculous mumbo-jumbo that's been sold to us by corporate America.
Marketing. Ricky, I don't care if it's the Beatles. Where do you draw the line when they're singing?
Well, let me explain. Hip-hop is there's a line in hip-hop because it's the equivalent of yelling fire in the theater. These are individuals.
How do you divide hip-hop from the rest of the industry?
No, let me explain. Let me explain what I'm saying here. What you have here is you have corporations that are selling products like 50 Cent and these fake gangsters. These are not real people, but they're marketing them as if they really got shot 5 times. They're marketing them as if they were really drug dealers and kingpins wherever the hell they were at. They're marketing them as a real thing, and they're not. They're fake. And that, by very definition, is yelling fire in the theater. These guys are advocating killing. They're advocating going out and busting caps on each other, dealing drugs, backstabbing people for the sake of money.
What they're going to say, no matter what, is our freedom of speech to be able to say whatever we want to
Right.
say.
Well, me personally, I never heard a hip hop song that said it's cool to go to jail, it's cool to backstab your man, and it's cool to fuck your girlfriend, your guy's girlfriend.
I've heard a lot of
Yeah, let me tell you something. Why don't you listen a little bit of the Chronic album, and that'll show you a little something.
No, I listen to Chronic. I got Chronic and Chronic 2002. I got both of them.
That's what I'm saying, sir. That all that in culture induces is, look. Let me ask you a personal question, sir, and I don't mean to say this to be insulting. How old are you?
I'm 24.
You're 24. Do you have any children?
No.
You have no children?
No.
All right. Are you married?
No.
Okay. Do you smoke marijuana?
No.
No.
I listen to hip hop.
You don't have to lie. You don't have to lie, sir. If you're toking on the reefer.
This is anonymous. We want the truth.
No, sir. Not at all.
I'm not 5-0 here. You can be smoking on Indo.
You're not being whatever tapped.
No.
Yeah,
I'm telling you the truth.
I mean, if you're puffing on the Magic Dragon, just tell us. I just want to know.
No, I'm telling you the truth. I don't drink. I don't smoke.
Well, then you're an isolated incident. You're an isolated incident, sir, because the majority of the people that are induced into this demographic, they're all, by the age of 24, 25, they all have at least 3 children, okay? They're out here on subsidy programs. You even have, welfare carols. Have you ever heard of Bone Thugs and Harmony, sir? I'm sure you have.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of First of the Month? You ever heard that song?
Yeah, I'm familiar with
that. You know what?
But did you hear I Try So Hard? Like that joint is like, I'm trying because, I want to get out of that. See, and this is what I'm saying. Like, see, it's the same way, like, these artists that's saying 50 Cent can say, I get money. He can still turn around and do a song called Many Men.
He would then go on a rant about parenting related to hip-hop.
And you know what?
Before they turn 18 here.
Let me explain something to you. I had the unfortunate incident of having to participate in this whole hip hop garbage. Back in the 90s, I raised a son. I have a couple of sons, but one of them in particular got so anesthetized with this gangster rap garbage. He started dressing up like a gangster, thought he was some bad hard ass when he knew damn well. He knew damn well he wasn't raised in that environment, but because he was listening to the damn Chronic album, because he was out here, listening to Snoop Dogg, because he was out here, thinking, he had his mind on his money and his money on his mind, all this garbage, it got me a little upset. So what did I do? I took all those damn records, I started listening to the absolute filth that's on them. I just completely took them away, and then I took my son out, drug him out of the damn house in a damn headlock, put him in the car, took him to the most, desolate, impoverished part of town, that I could find, dumped him off on the corner right there and said, hey, let me see how gangster you are out here in these neighborhoods. And let me tell you, after, spending the day out there talking to all kinds of drug addicts, prostitutes, drug dealers, and all kinds of other undesirables, he changed his little gangster tune right away. And let me tell you something.
Gave him a major dose of reality, which was nice, but none of his parents. I come from the Midwest. We don't have that opportunity. We'd have to drive a couple hundred miles to do that.
Right, but my thing is this. You said that it was the way he dressed, and he had John Gotti was a gangster, a killer. That nigga, he wore a suit. So if your son put on the suit, it was still being a gangster with you know what I'm saying? Like, you going off the way he dressed and how he looked.
Well, the difference between John Gotti and some stupid, block hustling street thug is the fact that John Gotti thought as a corporation, at least this man was a Republican about it. At least he was a Republican about it.
Ghost, you're breaking up. Try it again.
At least he was a Republican about it, and wasn't out here, making welfare carols. It's the first of the month. I mean, have you ever heard this song? Have you heard this song? You people you need to download it. It's called First of the Month by Bone Thugs and Harmony. It is a welfare carol. These people are singing about the first of the month government subsidy check.
Because that's real.
And then the whole rap song is about how they're gonna, buy marijuana and 4 O's, which is, 40-ounce bottles of malt liquor. This is what they talk about, and this is the kind of mentality we're perpetuating. And, sir, with all due respect, I think that you need to grow up out of that particular lifestyle, and you need to understand that that's not going to get you anywhere, sir.
Following this, he gave his views on the death penalty in Texas and in the U.S. in general.
What if?
Given the isolated incident that, one of these weapons get into the wrong hands, the rule of law will deal with them accordingly. And I think if they're going to kill somebody like they do in Texas, believe me, I'm in Texas. We execute more people than anyone else in the Union. And the reason is because we want to deal with the riffraff, and we don't want to sit over here and try to kid ourselves into believing that some killer, some ridiculous heathen who either, raped or killed somebody is going to rehabilitate themselves and be some sort of product of society. We put them right in the gas chamber, right in the electric chair, right in the damn, whatever we do to kill these people. That's what we do because that's the way the rule of law should work. And that's exactly what should happen, to people that, misuse our Second Amendment, that are out here killing innocent people, participating in unlawful activity. They should be put under the same constraints that those who kill in Texas do, and they should be put to death.
Episode 24 would be another free-format show. Episode 25 was yet another episode on feminism and Ghost's critical view on its modern incarnation, as well as Ghost's thoughts on the Second Amendment and public education. During episode 26, Ghost allegedly found marijuana possessed by an employee of one of his unknown businesses and discussed possibly firing said employee.
You'd like to leave everything into the managers of those particular establishments and hope that they run tight as a ship as you do, but that never happens. Anyway, the point is, I came across something in the back room area where the employees gather, eat their lunch, that sort of thing. And I've got, and I confiscated it. It's actually some drugs. And I just wanted to see what everybody thought I should do about the young man I think brought the drugs in. It's marijuana. What do you think I should do as an employer? Do you think I should just fire the man?
I think that you gotta be tough. Give if he's a good worker, give him a chance. But you gotta be tough. Whatever you do, you gotta be tough. Out of love.
Well, he's a good employee. He's been with me for about 1.5 years or so. Never been late. Always did everything, to a proper standard. But you know what? I found this substance right here, and it's not a whole bunch. It's not like, they're pushing pounds out here. But, it's definitely a small amount, as if they're doing it on the job, maybe during their breaks or some sort. And the thing about it is that if I fire one person, there's a group of people that work at this establishment. I'm sure that the other people are participating in this activity too, right?
That's probably happening. Yeah.
So, it was in an area where, it was like the public, or not really public, but the general area for the workers to, it's like kind of a semi-break room, kind of a place to eat their meals or whatever the case might be. And I found it, in an area by the little TV that we have out there for them. So, and you see that the only reason I'm suspecting one person is because, well, frankly, he's made references to the fact that he does participate in this activity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is kind of a pickle here because, look, it is just, if it had been cocaine or something, I'd have fired everybody. But this is just, this is a pickle here. You got to weigh the financial interest one has in running an operation that it always generates profits on a monthly basis. The ship is actually going to run properly if I keep this young man in the position that he's in. I don't want to get into detail what the business, that's all there is to it. Ozone, at first he was saying that maybe I should just confront the man and just, try to yell at him and scream at him and tell him he'll never do it again, not around the business, that sort of thing, and probably give him a chance. If you're listening, I want to hear more perspectives on this. Give me a call, 646-652-4869. What in the blue hell should I do? I've got it right here. It's a small amount of marijuana. I wouldn't even, like I said, maybe a couple of joints at best. And then I've got some smoking device that obviously has been used. The hell do I do?
Is there a chance that it's not his, that it's someone else's?
I think it's pretty much his. He's the youngest at this establishment, first of all. Secondly, he's made references like, I'll be at the establishment, he's just trying to build rapport, trying to kiss ass, so to speak, that sort of thing. And he's made a couple of references to the fact that, when referencing this, because I smoke cigars, you see, and he's made a suggestion on whether or not the cigars was really placed with tobacco and not something else, and he's made references in that nature. Unreal. Hold on, we've got another caller here. Let's see if they want to chime in on it. 416 area code. You're on the air.
Hey, buddy.
What's going on?
What are we talking about? Marijuana? Drugs?
Yeah.
What about I just heard.
Yeah. Well, I've recognized that person. I don't know. I think she was on your show, right, Ozone?
Yes.
Anyway,
who was that?
I don't know. I think that it's somebody who gets too close to a cheap bottle of hooch, and I don't know if she means harm. I just think that she needs to, maybe calm down on the narcotics or intoxicants that she's consuming, if you will.
The following episode, Ghost had alleged that Blog Talk Radio had prohibited him from broadcasting because of quote-unquote questionable technical disruptions. Episode 28 would occur on a Sunday afternoon and was purely a call-in episode. These past 18 episodes reflected an era at which Ghost had managed to keep things on track despite trolling attempts. However, as February turned into March, Ghost would find it harder and harder to keep the trolls away, and he would stop broadcasting as frequently due to the stress from these callers. Little did he know that this would be a sign of things to come.